Hi there. My treatment plan for Loretta and Janet are the following. Um, the services needed for both of them, I would say, is they both need grievance counseling. Loretta needs to work on her alcohol abuse, also her parenting skills, and they both need individual and family counseling. Um, they also need the support from their community, and Janet needs help regulating her emotions to feel safe. I, um, I would say that um, since Loretta doesn't have any other family except her mother, there's really no one else she could count on. Um, which is the reason why she would need the support from her community. Um, as for her strengths, I would say Loretta's strengths, some of her strengths are when her husband was alive, she demonstrated that she was capable of taking care of her two children, and she had no problem with that. So we know she's able to do that, but possibly not handle the stress of being a single parent, which is why, with all the stress, which could be a reason why she consumed alcohol. And I also commend her for seeking out help and getting the courage to recognize her issue. Um, for my initial diagnosis, I said that for Loretta, that she was alcohol dependent. I also said that she had some depression, which could have been which was the result of her husband's death, and that it became so bad to a point where she couldn't function without alcohol. I would also take a deeper look into the reason of why she's bringing men into the home, and why she puts up with the abuse. I would want to know if Loretta had to do with any of Loretta's, maybe her own experience growing up. Could it be that she feels scared and alone? Could it be that the reason why she feels that this way is because she probably feels abandoned by her husband that died? For Janet, my initial thoughts for her in the beginning of reading this case was she didn't have she didn't have any disorder. But as I got into it and was able to break apart the case study, I was able to possibly see that she could potentially have PTSD, which could have been a result of the abuse and the both physical and sexual abuse she faced. On one hand, from her mother, and on the other hand, the sexual abuse she faced by these men her mom would bring home. I would also, for my first treatment, I would begin to allow Loretta and Janet both to express themselves. For Loretta, it would help her change her way of expressing her emotions, using a more positive approach without the means of alcohol. For Janet, it will be working on expressing those emotions and not holding them in. For a discharge goal, I would say that in a journal, I would want them both to keep track of their emotions, and whenever they're feeling angry or sad, to associate a positive skill or a positive approach to help them cope with that feeling. For example, if they're feeling anger, well, hey, go do some exercise to help cope with the anger that they're feeling. So things like that. For my treatment number 2, I would have them both attend grievance counseling. They both were not given the opportunity to grieve for the loss of, Loretta for the loss of her husband, and Janet for the loss of her father. I'd say that for in Janet's case, that she probably feels as if she has lost both parents, because not only did her father die, but it could be seen like her mom didn't want her, or hated her, or maybe even blamed her for the death of her father, and which could have been the reason why she drank. I mean, these are all thoughts going in a little kid's head. My mom hates me or blames me for the death of my father and whatnot, because she didn't demonstrate her love to her while she lived with her. A discharge goal for the grievance would be that both of them allow themselves to grieve in the way that could help, in order to help not only grieve for the loss of the father, but also in order for them to put that behind them and start working on their relationship. For their individual counseling, I would say Janet needs to talk about her emotions and physical abuse she encountered while living with her mother. Loretta needs to talk about not only the loss of her husband, but also the physical abuse she experienced by these men. How does she feel now that she's sober? I would have them both, as a discharge, go write a letter of pain to one another and about the way they felt and how they would continue and how they continue to feel towards each other, and what they could do to possibly change that. For my treatment number 4, I would say that family counseling, once individual counseling has been squared away, I would say family now it's time to work on, now let's look at the family. So this is where I would bring in Loretta and Janet to work on the relationship together, and whether it be to help them improve their communication skills or their coping skills to better understand one another. So for Loretta, my objective would be to help her begin to work on skills to be a better parent to Janet. And for Janet, I would want, my objective for her would be to feel safe again, feel like she doesn't need to worry about her safety no more. Just have fun and live the life of a child. As my discharge goal for them would be to improve their communication and coping skills, to try to understand each other's personalities and behaviors, to avoid any argument between them. So if they are able to understand their behaviors, understand the reason why they may be reacting the way they do, maybe that understanding will help them get along better. For my mental status narrative, I put down that Loretta is a 30-year-old female who looked of average weight and height, and Janet was a tall 9-year-old female. They both appear to be nicely dressed and groomed. Janet appeared scared and Loretta was nervous. Janet had her hair in two little braids pulled out to the side, and wore a little yellow summer dress. And Loretta also appeared to be groomed and clean, and she wore light blue jeans with a purple cardigan. Loretta appeared to be nervous and kept biting her bottom of her lip, and Jenny appeared to be scared. Loretta, when was speaking to Loretta and Janet about their father, they both became depressed. Loretta became teary. Loretta had a difficult time keeping eye contact and recalling certain events while she was under the influence of alcohol, and Janet had no difficulties recalling events. Loretta accepted the fact that she has not always been the greatest parent, but says she cares a lot for Janet, and this is the reason why she's here today seeking treatment, and she's willing to go to treatment to talk about what she needs to do to what do you call it, to improve to go through the treatment that's needed for her to regain her daughter back. Well, I have enjoyed taking this class, and it's an end.